Well, good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year to you. We find ourselves this morning in 2 Samuel chapter 6. This is a very serious chapter because it talks about the holiness of God, how God views his holiness, and how others view his holiness, and what the outcome of that is. The Ark of the Covenant is being transported back to Israel. David wanted the Ark back in Israel to have the presence of God with the people of Israel. And so therefore, they were gathering this ark. And the first part of the chapter talks about Uzzah and his sons putting this ark on a new cart. And they're transporting this ark on that new cart. And there's merriment and celebration going on. And in verse 6 of chapter 6, it says this: "And when they came to the threshing floor of Nacon, Uzzah put out his hand to the ark of God, and he took hold of it, for the oxen stumbled." So get the picture here. The ark was on unstable ground, on a new cart. And as it was being shaky a little bit, it says that Uzzah reached out and steadied the ark of the covenant. Now what happens? Look at verse 7. It says, "And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and God struck him down there because of his error, and he died right beside the ark of God." You see, Uzzah made a very grave mistake. He thought that he was more holier than the ground. Number one, they were not transporting the ark the correct way. It had distinct directives on how the ark was to be carried and not put on a cart, even if it was a new cart. And they probably did that out of genuine respect, but it was still not the right way that God said to do it. And Uzzah ends up dead. David's angry about this, but I want you to see how serious this is as they continue to bring the ark into Jerusalem. Look at verse 13. It says, "And when those who bore the ark of the Lord had gone 6 steps, he sacrificed an ox and a fattened animal." Every 6 steps, there was a sacrifice to God. How long do you think it took them to get to Israel and into Jerusalem? Oh my goodness. That's how serious the holiness of God is. You see, the holiness of God was defamed greater than just touching the ark. It was defamed by our sin. And there had to be a sacrifice. Not every 6 steps, but a sacrifice for all times when Jesus Christ died for our unholiness to satisfy a holy God. Today, as you live your life, how are you protecting God's holiness in your life? You see, God doesn't live in a box anymore. God lives in you. You're the temple of the Holy Spirit. So therefore, are you dealing ruthlessly with yourself over your sin each day? Why? Because God's holiness is serious, and we should take it seriously. God bless you. Think about that today as you live your life.